All right. We are up and running, people.
I don't hear you in the headphones.
I don't have headphones on yet.
Well, I do.
Hang on. Wow. What a mess. Hang on a second. Earbuds. You should be... How about now?
Oh, there you go. That's good.
There we are. We are getting our ducks in a row here a little bit, people. There's like nobody on yet, but that's okay. We're getting some people jumping in, which is always fun. And get this. Just doing some basic tweaking and setting things up. So, so I hope people are enjoying themselves today and everything else. Got a few people on. I've got Steven here. Chris, who normally would go through the process of losing his job every time we do a live show, is not in today. He's battling with
Plague.
The C word?
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
I just call it plague these days.
Yeah, it's
I'm finally over it, so it's running rampant in this area, it seems.
It's interesting. Yeah. I've been traveling a lot, and people get it here and there, but I've not had any issues at all, knock on wood. And so hey, everybody, we are SecureIt Live. It's I'm somebody. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Anybody has any questions throughout the show, throughout what we're talking about, do not hesitate to ask. We're here for you, right? Is that the
I know we're in this dark room in central New York and when it's finally a sunny day. The restaurant we stopped for lunch was packed. Took me forever to get the food to bring back here because everybody was out sitting outside at the restaurant. And it was just swamped. It was just gorgeous out today. Yeah, people want to get people want to get outside. People have been cooped up here. If you live in warm countries, I was just down in Savannah, Georgia, and I was in Louisville, and it's a little different down there. Yeah, they're used to it.
They've got tans. They've got appropriate beach wear and things. But hey, if you're up in the Northeast, if you're in, I spent a lot of time in Minnesota. They got brutal thunderstorms. Most of the power was out the other night, and looks like we finally got some summer weather coming. I think is it rain coming next week?
Sunday some, but hopefully it's just scattered.
But it is, So anyhow, guys, a lot of stuff happening. I'm home. I'm here. I got back in last night my plane came in about 12:30 at night. I was down in Savannah and in Louisville. I said shooting some segments for our upcoming show, Agents of Change. And I'm going to be heading out next Wednesday for the S12. Mickey Shook and Carry Trainer is doing a 4-day handgun training course, which we're a sponsor. We're a sponsor of the weekend. And I'm going to actually go through the training because as many know and some don't know, I'm not a big handgun shooter. I don't consider myself really proficient with handguns. It's not my firearm of choice. I like my rifles. I like my shotguns, but we had the opportunity, and Mickey's a great guy, and we jumped at it. So I'm going to go down there 4 days of trying to get good at it and then have to get back here. And what's the next thing I got to do?
Lots of paperwork.
And get a handgun. Yeah, that's right. Start. Guys, yeah, I'm not a handgun shooter. I'll be the first to admit it.
I think you'll like the 1911s because I was rifle forever. That was the first pistol I got. I actually got one that has rifle sights on it. So it's an easier transition, and it's so accurate that you can reach out pretty decently far for a pistol with it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, as long as I've got I want a full frame. I hate shooting a handgun when your pinkies are, you know, those. I mean, if you're doing the micro conceal carry, I get it, you know, but no, I'd like, what do you call it? Meat and potatoes.
Yeah, a full size gun.
When can we expect the light bar accessory? I just saw that.
I think. Oh shoot. You know, Ron told me this, and I'm trying to remember. I believe because they were delayed a little bit. I believe it's mid-May now, but you know they're on the way to the warehouse. We have some here that.
I think promo kicks next week.
Yeah, I think they're. Oh, that's right. It is kind of almost mid-month.
It is. Yeah, you said mid-May. It's. I think.
Yeah. I believe he said around the 16th, so I think that's Monday.
Yeah.
So around there, you know, Ron might be rolling his eyes and hate me right now, but I believe it's around Monday.
Yeah, I think I saw a note in there from Resolute 123, getting a pistol print in New York. Good luck. I live in Madison County. It's a very rural county, small town, and I shouldn't have an issue. I should, in fact, be able to get a concealed carry permit without too much accord. I don't see myself as a concealed carry guy. I'll get the permit. I'll get the best one I can get, but again, it's not my firearm of choice. I just, from a safety security standpoint, I don't think, unless I get really good at it, that's not a choice I would make.
Ron just sent me a note. They are actually in the warehouse right now, so it's up to marketing to throw it on the website now.
I believe, guys, somebody fire me off a note in chat here. When do I know we talked about it this morning, but I had a million things going on. We had our big quarterly meeting, company meeting this morning, went over a lot of stuff.
And Resolute 123, he was also asking about the door, having a battery opening for the door organizer for the Agile.
Mm-hmm.
We had thought about that. One thing that we ran into, though, is when we put the opening in there, it kind of made everything all wrinkly and wonky on the organizer itself. When we left it solid, it kept everything looking better, and you had all the usable space. We have had customers ask about having like a little door or something, you know, Velcro, something to access the battery easier. You know, right now, I think you have to do, it's 1 or 2 screws to get that off enough to change the battery. So, yeah, we get that it's kind of a pain, but it keeps the usable space at a maximum and keeps it looking all wrinkly and wonky if, you know, you'd have it there.
Yeah, wrinkly and wonky isn't good.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going into some sort of sweaty balls thing.
Oh. Not at the start of the weekend.
But the light bar is, I actually snaked a bunch of prototypes in the light bars, and I took them home, put them in my Agile Quad, and I put them in a couple of cabinets. And I'm going to start looking at other applications. I showed my wife, said, check how cool this is. And I said, so what cupboards do you open you'd like to have lights pop in? And she's like, that's a really good idea. So we've got, you know, in your kitchen, you got a dark corner, you got some cabinets.
Yeah,
it's got the ability to, it comes with the attachments to their peel and stick brackets where the light will then snap into the brackets. You can put them anywhere.
Yeah, it's actually just magnets. So like you just pull it down when it's time to recharge it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's USB and USB-C.
Oh, I can't tell the difference between those little plugs.
Yeah.
Now you could mess with her and run around and turn them all to red light.
Absolutely.
Especially for Halloween.
Well, yeah. Is there anything else going on that we should, any other big things on your front?
Not so much on my front. I mean, I just got over the plague myself, so I was off for a week, and then I was working from home last week. Fortunately, I had some technical difficulties, so I couldn't pop on with you guys.
That's right.
I'm playing a little catch up right now.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people in the company. There's only a handful of us that have not had the plague.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance I've had it. I just
well, I made it till a couple weeks ago, so I was doing.
I was talking to a guy who's smarter than me, and he said that he had read, I don't know, that 73% of Americans have had it.
Yeah.
Odds are you've had it. A lot of people are asymptomatic, so who knows? But hey, guys, talking point today. I was talking with a bunch of people this weekend. I actually had a pretty busy weekend. I'll get into that a little bit. But the thought of the day, I saw a flyer. It was a Liberty safe flyer for, I think it was their like Continental? No, the Colonial or the Presidential. It's one of their higher end safes. And it was going through all this stuff about, the picture. I always talk about that picture of the River Rock fireplace, the view out the window, the beautiful safe in the corner with the lettering on it. And they had the words were heirloom, that jumped out. Heirloom investment, heirloom, heritage, and family, and all this stuff. And they started talking about their security levels of, there's level 1, 2, 3, 4 at Liberty now, which is all, they just made that up, but it's added bolts. They got those flat bolts now, the plates, thicker ones of those, corner bolts, drill pad, all these things. You get the level 4 and all this stuff on the door. And thieves ignore the door. I mean, and the brochure has the safe sitting in the middle of this room, basically telling you spend all this money. The safe's probably $6,000, $6,000, $4,000 to $6,000. Spend the money. It's an heirloom. It's an investment, and show it off. Show it off to your friends. It's absolutely crazy. Do you want everybody, per Liberty, do you want everybody that comes to your house to know, A, you've got a safe, you've got guns, they know where it is, and it's almost like you're bragging. Look how much money I spent on this fancy safe because I've got money and I've got a lot of cool guns. It's crazy what they're doing.
Did they get bought out by Bentley or something?
They were owned by.
I was thinking Bentley.
For the yeah. Well, they were sold just in fourth quarter last year. They were owned by Compass Diversified Holdings, which owns several outdoor sports and other industries. They were sold to another venture capital group. I have not done all the research on it. There's not a lot of data yet on the group that bought them. But they're a spreadsheet driven company. But still this idea that, and there's still so many people think this way, that you show off your gun safe because it's cool. It looks good. They make it look good. You're telling everybody where all your guns are. Now, the gun safe industry wants everyone to believe that weight is security. A heavier safe is a more secure safe. And that's pretty much throughout the whole safe industry. A heavier safe is a more fireproof safe. I've heard people actually tell me this, not knowing who I am. When if I'm at Bass Pro, I always walk to the safe. I'm always looking, talking to people, just kind of gauge the market, gauge what people are thinking about. Buy the biggest safe you can afford, because eventually you're going to grow into it. Eventually you'll get the guns to grow into it. So buy the biggest one you can afford. Buy the heaviest safe you can, because that's, better security. Well, the lightweight safes to the heavier safes, you're going from a stack-on, which is a lighter weight safe, is 14 gauge. They may make some 12s. I'm not sure. Mostly 14 gauge. Bulk of the Liberty is 11 to 12. And then if you go to their heavier series, you get down in the 10. Now, if you add the level 4 security package, which is like $2,000, you're talking heavier bolts, plate steel. You got, the hardened steel cover plates over the lock so you can't drill it. And from the stack-on cheap to the Liberty 6,000-7,000, the weight means nothing to a thief, because I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to buy a saw blade that's meant for cutting rebar on construction sites, up to 1-inch thick rebar. I'm going to mount it up in my 1987 skill saw I bought the year I got married. And I'm going to cut the side of that safe open in way under a minute. I'm telling you that. I can cut the safe as fast as I can rip 2x4s. Now, there's videos out there of me doing it. We're going to do a little more with that. We're going to actually have a contest coming up of how quick it'll take me to remove some firearms from a safe. But this notion that weight is security is nonsense. The gun safe industry builds to UL class RSC. UL created the class back I think it was probably in the late 70s, early 80s. For the gun safe industry. UL makes a class rating for all safes, and that's driven by insurance. If you got a jewelry store with $2 million in diamonds, they need to get a liability or insurance policy ensuring that. The insurance company says, what kind of safe do you have? They're going to say, it's a whatever, UL, it's a TL30. It's a UL class B or class C safe. That tells the insurance company exactly what the rating, what the security level is of the safe. In the gun industry, it's class RSC. And all the gun safes are made to that. RSC stands for Residential Security Container. The word safe isn't part of the designation. UL wouldn't allow the use of the word safe because they felt that these did not meet the minimum performance to be called a safe. So, but people who don't know, your RSC cabinet. You spent $8,000 on this crazy, crazy big gun safe. It weighs a ton. All this security, class RSC. What is your security level? So class RSC states your safe will block access from one person for 5 minutes with a hammer of less than 5 pounds, a pry bar of less than 18 inches, and a small hand drill. So you're talking about a regular hammer, a big screwdriver, and a little drill. That's what your safe is per UL is guaranteed to protect you against. That's picture a bad guy with a black, like out of a Batman show with the back, the bandana over the eyes, the black mask and all that stuff back in the 50s or 60s. Modern tools cut through safes like they cut through plywood. And you just ignore the doors, ignore all that, and just simply cut a hole in the side of the safe big enough to put half your body in. I mean, a 2 foot by 2 foot hole is going to take you, it's as fast as you can cut wood. So weight is not your friend. Weight also is not fire ratings. We can talk on that real quick. Fire ratings in gun safes, I'm going to come right out. It's nonsense. It's crap. Yes, they have ratings. And yes, they go through testing. But the testing process is the wrong test. Now, we make the True Safe. If you go to Safe and Vault, they have it available. We make it. It's called the True Safe. I don't recommend it because it's too damn heavy. But we make it to prove a point. And there are some people that want this. We made a True Safe. Double-walled steel filled with cement. It's very similar to the original patented design by Silas Herring in the late 1860s. And it is a true safe. And we did a fire test with it. They put it into the oven. They load it up with temp probes, close the door. They run the temperature up to 1,300 degrees and start the clock. And our safe went, I think, 2 hours, 20 minutes.
It was actually just about 2 hours.
Okay. But we started at 90 degrees.
I think it was actually 100 degrees.
Yeah, because the safe had been sitting in the sun. But anyhow, so it goes 2 hours. And then boom, once the safe gets to 350 degrees, the test is over. That's how long it went. I would give that safe a 20-minute to 30-minute rating max. And the reason I'm saying that is the test, when they test a gun safe, when Liberty's doing their independent tests, it's a static oven. They're bringing up the air temperature and they're cooking the safe. Fires aren't static. Fires are dynamic. Think about making a pizza in your home. You got the oven at 500 degrees, 450, 500, depending on what brand pizza you're doing. You can open the oven at 450, 500 degrees and put your hand into that air. And I'll bet you can hold it there for 20 or 30 seconds. It's going to very slowly heat up. And there's a point where it's going to get uncomfortable and you're going to pull it out. But it's not going to be really quick. I'll bet 20 to 30 seconds. I've not tested it. Maybe I'll shoot a video doing that. Now, take same situation. No, take the same temperature. 500 degree air coming out of a jet engine exhaust, mounted to a bench. Small jet engine. It's coming out the back. It's 500 degrees, and it's going 60 miles an hour. And put your hand into that stream. It'll burn the skin off your bones in probably a few tenths of a second. It's going to rip your hand apart. When you look at a fire in a home, a raging fire, the air is moving in excess of 60 miles an hour. It is a torrent in there. And a traditional, brand name gun safe with a 1 hour rating, it's going to go 10, 12 minutes. We are going to build a mock-up of a room and cook off some safes this summer. That isn't the plan. So all my travel plans have this pushed out a little bit, but that's something we're going to do and basically prove our point. But fire ratings are nonsense. It really is. And
well, in the end, you really don't know what happened to your firearm either,
no.
Whether it's going to be safe to shoot. Unless you have a sensor in there that says, hey, the heat in here stayed below 350. You have no clue if when you use that firearm, if it's going to be good.
Absolutely. That's a point that a lot of people don't realize is if your guns survive a hot fire, your safe gets burned up, you open, hey, the guns are okay. How hot did those guns get?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got old wooden guns, the wood's burned up, those things were cooked. But if you got more modern, more tactical guns, you don't know. Are you going to fire those guns?
I'm not.
No.
No.
It's not worth blowing half your face off. But this idea that you want this fire rating, it's such a part of the gun safe culture, the manufacturer's culture about fire ratings are so important. The risk of fire in a home gets less every year since the 1800s. UL, Underwriters Laboratory, they were created to give fire ratings to electrical components in the 1800s. When electricity came in the homes, the fear was fires are going to be really all over the place. There was a big fear about that. And the insurance companies created Underwriters Laboratory to test electrical components, to rate them and basically make sure homes and electricity were safe. Well, 100 years later, we're getting in now, and we're at a point now where houses are very safe. When you look at actual data, which is driven by the insurance industry, I think it's 87% of insurance claims, the fire was in the kitchen and was contained within the pot or within the oven. And the claim is smoke damage. Actual heat-related damage in a home is very rare. And when it does occur, it's typically isolated to the corner of one room of a house. Heat-related fires in homes it's carelessness. Smoking is one of the biggest. And then electrical, which is becoming less and less every year. But usually those types of fires are out very quickly. If you live in a city with a professional firefighting force, response time to your house is probably 3 minutes, 3 to 5. I live in a small town volunteer firefighting force. It's 11 minutes to my house. You can call your fire department, give them your address. They will tell you the response time. They know it because insurance companies are required to know. When you have your fire insurance and policy and you put your address in, they enter it in and they know the response time. That's how they rate your policy.
Yeah.
So,
I think unless you're out west where they get all the wildfires, but nothing's protecting your guns at that point.
But when you look at the wildfires, I went through California. It was like 8-9 years ago. Those are devastating fires. The gun safes were ripped apart. There were several articles published about big gun collections that were lost because the safes were ripped apart. The fires
those fires are just way too hot.
Right. So if you're really worried about fire, get really good insurance. But then if you look at, we look at decentralized storage, break up that great big dinosaur pig safe and store guns in small modular lighter weight cabinets. No, they don't have a fire rating, but do they need one? When you locate guns in 7-8 places in your home, if you had a fire in your home, chances are it's going to occur. It's going to be in one room, one corner. Fire department will have it out. If it breaks through the ceiling, you've got one corner of your house had a fire. If you follow decentralized storage, odds are no safe was near that fire.
Yeah.
And at the worst case scenario, you might lose a few guns. Also, if a thief breaks into your house and spends more time, most thieves break in, they're in and out in 9 minutes. Master bathroom, they're looking for drugs. Master bedroom, they're looking for some valuables. Kitchen, or then they go dining room, home office den, they're out of the house very quickly. But if they're spending time and let's say they know you're gone for a weekend, you got a big gun safe, they're going to open that. If they're pros, they're going to open it quickly. They've got everything. If you decentralize and they've got a lot of time in the house, they're going to find a safe eventually and they'll get it open eventually. And now you've got one safe, but once they've got that, they've won in their mind. They've now got they've got valuables. There's no reason to stay in that house. Time is their enemy. The biggest enemy of a break-in, a burglar, is time. They want to be in and out quickly. The minute they find something, they're gone. So worst case scenario, you lose 3 or 4 guns. If you've got a big collection, you lose one cabinet. You don't lose the whole damn safe. So that's the today's talking points. Weight is nonsense. Weight is not security. Weight is heavy. Weight is not fire protection. Weight is just heavy. The average American moves every 6.3 years. The 2 most left behind things when people move are gun safes and hot tubs. And I've got 2 friends of mine that are members of a hunt club, a group we meet every year, good guys, 2 of which they're retired and they've moved down south. Both left their safes in their homes because they were too heavy to move. And they bought Agile cabinets from us, which was cool. But
they didn't leave a hot tub, did they? Because I'm looking to get one.
I don't know. I didn't probably. You don't move a hot tub. You leave a hot tub.
Well, you got to try.
But keep in mind, moving companies won't move a gun safe. They don't want that mass in their truck because their liability insurance doesn't allow them to have that mass in the truck. If something happened, would destroy everything. So you're typically to move a gun safe costs more than just leaving it and buying another one. But why do it? Go lighter. Go faster. We didn't talk about corrosion, but all the stuff inside of a traditional gun safe is pretty much banned from use in military armories for a reason. it is corrosive. But anyhow, we're gonna have more up with that later this summer. We will be doing the great gun safe barbecue. And I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna build a room. We're gonna try to simulate a room of a house. This is gonna be an undertaking. We're gonna build this out on the ranch. And I think when we do the cook-off, we probably should get Matt up here and get some grills, and we should do. Yeah. If we're going to do a safe cook-off, maybe we should do like a barbecue cook-off.
Oh, definitely.
Along with it. So
Matt is our director of operations, and he has is it a YouTube channel for?
Well, he competes. He competes in grilling competitions, and
he came over to my house when we had one of the get-togethers, and he had all these crazy ingredients, and I think one of them was pineapple juice, and I'm thinking that is the worst thing to put on this big, delicious-looking steak. And I don't know how he did it, but that thing tasted amazing. It was not sweet, and it was something about the enzymes in it, break it down to make it more tender. Oh, it was delicious.
It's grilling is one of those things that every guy that has a grill thinks he's really good at it.
Oh, I'm atrocious.
I have my wins. I've gotten much better. I've got a Kamado Joe, which I got to say that with the digital Bluetooth temp probes.
Yeah.
Makes it pretty damn easy. I've got a lot of tips from a lot of guys, so I've gotten much better at it, but it's not my
We do have a question that it's way back a little bit, but Resolute 123, he has a young niece that let's see that it looks like he babysits once in a while, and he's looking for pistol box similar to what Vaultec has, and seeing what we're going to have offered in the future.
The handgun storage solution is coming. It's a challenge right now. It's Ron is busting his ass getting things done, and the supply chain issues, the workforce issues. We're running. We use a lot of outside sources. We're a small company. I don't have a team of engineers. I don't have a team of machinists. I don't have a team of prototypers. We're a small company, so we rely on outside vendors to supply a lot of stuff, a lot of the prototype, a lot of the custom one-off 3D print type stuff. And it's really hard to get things done right now. So we are still targeting fourth quarter, but for that product, and that is a modular, fast access, handgun safe that's going to give you a level of flexibility like nobody's ever seen before. We're not spilling candy in the lobby with this one yet. Once we have the first article working prototypes done, we'll start doing the peek under the hood. But that's fourth quarter. You know what? I don't want to push a competitor's product. If you've got a gun, you need a safe. Go buy one. Buy a cheap one. You can get a good one when we come out with ours. But don't keep. You got to have the damn thing locked.
Yeah.
And I don't like trigger locks, especially with little kids, because the gun is still there. No, they can't get to the trigger, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a trigger lock person. You can't get to it either. So
yeah, I've been using one of our Fastbox 40s, and I snagged one of the under the bed kits because the 40 doesn't come with it. But I use that for pistols, and that works out really good because you can put multiple ones in there. It's not, it's not super easy where you can mount it next to your bedstand, but it works really well, and it's got tons of space and it's out of the way.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people that do that, don't realize you can do that, but the Fastbox, you can put pegs in it, bins in it, and store quite a few handguns. Like in a closet. Who was I talking to? It wasn't Mickey. It was one of these. They had a Fastbox in a closet, fast access to a handgun, but they had a pretty good handgun collection. They just had 8 handguns in the cabinet.
Yeah, once in a while, a customer will ask me how many they can fit in there with a single pistol peg. And I'm kicking myself because I always have to go out and figure it out because I haven't been smart enough to write down the answer and put it in my notes yet. So that'll be next time.
Oh, so you really don't know?
No, I have to go count the louvers.
This is great.
Many. I think it's pistol usually takes up about 3 louvers. So I usually test it out, run back. So things like that I usually write down after the second time somebody's asked me.
Oh, that's working. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, we'll have to. Once this thing is out, man, this thing is going to be, we got a lot going on with it. So other thing, I want to talk a little bit about Agents of Change, the TV show. We are in rapid production of the show. I've been traveling a lot. Agents of Change is going to be on the Sportsman's Network, the Outdoor Network Sportsman's Channel, airing this summer, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. and it's kind of a magazine format, I guess you'd call it. But each episode, I feature 2. It's either people, product, or company that's driving innovation and change in the firearms industry and more broadly in some of the outdoor sports industries. So I was going to bring this. This is some of the stuff that we're working. I'm going to show you guys some of the products and kind of some of the things that we're doing. We'll give a little advanced look. So I think I showed this thing last week. This blew my doors off. I got to tell you, this is the Rangu Dual. It's called the Rangu Dually. It's an e-bike. So you have power assist, electric assist when you pedal. You can go up a really steep grade from a dead stop because of the electric motors. The dual front wheels absolutely prevent front tire washout. If you're in soft sand, mud, if you hit a log at a weird angle where normally a bike would just throw you out, this thing goes right over it. This, from bike to get in and out of tree stands to move about in the woods. I went off trail and just banged through stuff, and it's got a full electric feature, so you can just completely run on the electric motor. But getting it out of a tree stand, you're not leaving a scent trail, and it's an e-bike, so you're not making any noise. Yeah. It's, if you've got clean, wide trails, you can move through the woods quietly, really effectively.
Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to know this, but how well does it handle jumps?
It's not like, it's funny, Steve, but it steers like a motorcycle. That's what it feels like. And it's interesting. It's got the Ackerman angle steering, meaning, in a car, when you turn a car, Ackerman was a guy who came with the Ackerman angle. The inside wheel turns farther than the outside because it's tracking a narrower curve. And the bike actually takes that. That's the patent on the bike, is it actually has steering geometry. It's really cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So this is Chris Chansky, range 702. We're doing a thing on her. It's the concept, the destination range. If you're in Las Vegas, plan a day to head over to the range. And that's the Quadzilla. That's 4 M4s mounted into the gun was made for them. And I did a mag dump of 120 rounds. It's pretty funny. The video on it is pretty funny.
Oh, it took me a second to realize there was a gun in there.
There you go. This thing is Light Horse. It's electric stand-up ATV. This is really new. And again, here's a way to move through the woods quietly. This thing is a beast. And that'll be one of the episodes.
Now, is that one 4-wheel drive?
It is all-wheel drive. It is all electric with the full battery pack. It has an 80-mile range.
Wow.
And
good off-road.
It'll accelerate fast enough to scare you. In fact, this is a prototype. They're going into production. They actually have quite a few orders placed for the company right now. They're actually going to put in a high-low because this thing goes. And in rougher terrain, you want a slower setting on it. I'm out in Wisconsin, and we're wearing a Limitek, which is it's a clothing that stops ticks, blocks ticks. What's interesting about a Limitek is they've developed a process. The coating on the material, I think, is made from chrysanthemums. It's a natural, but it lasts the life of the clothing. The way they've got a technology to get into the fibers doesn't wash out.
Well, don't tell too much. Nobody's going to watch the show if you tell it all.
No, we're just talking. The show's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that ticks haven't gone after me yet, but where I moved to, it seems to be a lot.
Yeah, there's up at the ranch. There's definitely ticks up there. Here I'm just doing some target practice with outright ammo, and this is a Fritz Hazard. What a great name! He's a physicist, brainiac guy who really cracked the code on the concept of barrel harmonics and why some ammunition shoots horrible and some shoots great out of a given gun. And they actually make ammunition that, if you know the length of your barrel, he can give you the ammunition that's pretty much guaranteed to shoot perfectly out of that gun. You never end up with those mismatched. Because, in our testing, you'll see that we went through a bunch of different ammo. The wrong ammo, my patterns with good ammo, the bullets are touching. It's one hole at 100 yards. With the wrong ammo, it was 11 inches.
I'm thinking as I'm looking at this, and that's really cool with the harmonics, but a nice shooting bench. I'm thinking as we do the fire testing for the safe,
maybe
when you have that built, we should have nice little shooting benches made.
Yeah, these are tough. These are funky. It looks better in the picture. It was a funky setup. It was kind of a pain in the neck.
Well,
I like a big soft mat.
Yeah.
That's the studio. That's we've got a studio built, and we were just shooting the in studio. There's not a lot of in studio shots. It's just the show opening, and then we're off. Most of the show takes place in the field.
Now, is that the cool jacket that you have?
That is the camo jacket. But yeah, so that's that is a sneak peek at the show that's coming along. There's a pretty good sized team of people we're working with to get this put together, and we're hoping the show is a hit, and we're going to look at a season 2, a season 3, and there's a lot of neat things out there that people aren't aware of, and the firearms industry just is so hesitant to look at new and innovative thing. I mean, it's.
Well, I think the mentality is out there that we're at a level where, there's not much to innovate anymore. So, but, there's always that burst where you have innovation, then all of a sudden it kind of dies for a little bit, then you get it going again. So I think we're probably on the cusp of where it's going to forward.
I hope so. There's just too many old guys running companies. I mean, look at the NRA has kind of misstepped here a little bit, and they're struggling a little bit, but they still communicate by sending out email. And, it's interesting. My kids, we complain to them because they never read emails. I sent you an email. I didn't look at it. Or my daughter's in college is like, did you get registered? Oh, shoot, I got to do that. Didn't they send you an email? I don't know. I don't look at my emails. Kids don't use email. They use other ways of communication. Yet when you look at NSSF and NRA and these organizations, they're not keeping up. And, it's from an innovation and change standpoint, they've got to start reaching a younger audience or they're going to become irrelevant because none of us guys are getting any younger. And it seems like there's this whole big group of baby boomer types that, we're trying to get younger people into the sport.
Yeah. I'd like to see what they can start doing differently with the firearms themselves. Because right now I'm looking at your air rifle that you have. So, air rifle technology isn't new, but coming up with the bigger calibers, something you're able to hunt with. And, maybe someday we'll see where it's an electric pulse shooting it like a rail gun. I don't know if they'll ever get down to a civilian packable one, but, that'd be kind of cool when they can come up with, something to replace the burning powder in a gun.
The Dread. You seen the videos?
No.
Google the Dread. I don't know what they call it. The Dread machine gun, the Dread heavy gun.
Yeah.
It's concept only, I believe. And it's a disc mounts on top of a Humvee and it spins to ballistic level, 50 caliber balls.
Yeah.
And it spins them up and it releases them at a target.
I have seen that. Okay.
And now when you fire a 50 cal, the bullets are 150, 200 yards apart in distance, boom, 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 boom. The speed of the bullet. When they release the Dread, they can send 6 or 7, 8 bullets 2 inches apart and punching through like armor, like gobs of cement. It's going to tear it apart. So that's
probably more stable too, because when you're in a Humvee shooting the 50 cal, that whole Humvee is just a rocket.
There's no recoil. There's no heat. There's no brass ejecting down your shirt. It's interesting. That Dread video was made like in 2011 it's like an animated prototype about the product. They've been trying to get funding. I don't know what the status is, but there's a company that's doing they're doing the centrifugal rocket into orbit, spinning a rocket and then releasing it straight out fast enough or at an angle to go into orbit.
I'm assuming there's no pilot in this thing.
No. But so it's interesting that the centrifugal or centripetal force, depending on which side of the physics equation you're on, is an interesting thought. Stacked ammo, remember that? Where they had the electric fire guns where the barrel go back into the chamber and you've got bullet, charge, bullet, and it's stacked.
Yeah, there was like 7 per barrel.
So you could set up a handgun and designate 2 rounds, boom, boom, and it fires them one after the other, 1 round.
Yeah.
And that was a big buzz, 2014, 15.
Yeah, that kind of fizzled out quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with it, but as
I'm thinking about it, though, I'm thinking about the fun things at the range, like in the Army when I was a saw gunner, and just the pure dread of the guy to the right of you getting just pelted by brass. So, if they get rid of the brass, it kind of takes away some of, I don't know if it's fun's the right word or the adventure of shooting the machine guns at the range.
Yeah, I don't know. The ammo guys doing the synthetic True Velocity. I think that's who it is. There's a company that was coming. They were working on the machine gun contract. They're the ones against SIG. SIG won it, but they make it's a polymer casing for ammunition, and it actually reduces the heat in the gun dramatically. Is lighter weight. And I'm not sure what the status of that is now without that contract that they're making the ammo. Civilian applications, I think, are limited. It's expensive. It's kind of cool, but I just don't think that weight's an issue for when I go to the range. If I take 100 rounds, that's a lot of any one particular ammo. I'm not going through that much ammo.
Yeah, those new guns make anytime there's something new and cool in the Army, it just makes all of us old guys that retired out miss it, because I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun machine gun or rifle. I want to try it. I've heard some complaints about the recoil, but I think that's why they're only doing 20 round mags and carrying less ammo, because they're making everybody aim more. So.
Yeah. Aim more.
Yeah. Well, before right now the military is in the mindset of Vietnam, where you house the area and make sure everybody gets their heads down, you pin them down, then move in on them. So I think it sounds, from what I'm hearing about it, they're doing a retrain, because it sounds like the tactics are going to change.
Yeah. Well, I got to believe the drones and the micro drones and all the little things you're doing.
Yeah.
That's going to be some scary stuff. So I got a comment in there. Would love to see you shred the battle axe behind you. I was thinking the axes that I bought and you were playing with Monday. We actually, Steven just got actual battle axe and that he had made. That guitar was it's been in a local music store, Beat Street Music. Terry is a friend, someone who's it's a small shop with a lot of cool guitars. I've actually bought a lot of guitars from him over the years. It's been sitting in his shop up on the wall for years. I found it. I said, Terry, what do you need? I need this gun. And he gave me a deal on it. It's a kind of a piece of junk guitar. It's yes, it will play. It's not really set up. Yeah. But I'm still battling. For those who don't know, I was a professional guitar player. Tendonitis kind of ended my career, but last year it got really bad again, and I'm still kind of on the mend. It's a bitch to get through tendonitis. So at some point, I will. I promise you all, I will bring in the tech or an amp. We'll
I got some small amps.
I do too. I got a lot of shit, and I will. We'll have a little shred session on. It might be more of a blues session. Like, we can do some shred session, but that kind of gets old quick.
Yeah, you'll get us. Yeah, questions like that will get us off on tangent of guitar.
Yeah. Agents of Change. When will it broadcast? We go live. I think it's June 27th. Let me pull up my calendar. June, it's Thursday, maybe the 30th, maybe June 30th. It's the last Thursday in June, I believe. And then we're July 7th. It's every Thursday, 8:00 Eastern time is when the show runs. And it's going to run 13 episodes. And then the final episode, we'll do a review, and we're going to pick winners of Agents of Change, most innovative product of the year.
Now, do you know, for those of us who don't have cable anymore and just stream, do you know if it's on a streaming service?
It is. I don't know. Again, I go out and shoot the guns. I don't know about the networks.
We got to find that out.
Yeah, we will have all that information available, because I'm not sure. I know they do, and I own the content. We're producing the show. It's our show. So once it's done airing, we own the content, and all of the content will be available on through our channels, and they'll also be edited, broken up into smaller segments. And we'll do a lot with that content. We're gonna do a lot to feature these companies, because there are a lot of people out there who are taking risks, spending money, investing in R&D, and doing things to really drive new products and new exciting ideas in firearms and outdoor sports. And if we're in a position to help them launch, or to help them get off the ground, or get their products rolling, we want to do it. In some cases, some of the products we're looking at, they're looking for investors. Mm-hmm. And if we can highlight the product in a way that investors see it and go, wow, that I've got ideas for this, and help these guys raise the funds, raise the capital they need to fully go to market. Outright Ammo comes to mind. He's got a brilliant idea. Getting into ammunition manufacturing is not inexpensive, but we can always use another manufacturer. Let's face it. There's been enough ammo shortages over the last 10 years. that the more the merrier. Ammo is not really a big problem anymore, is it? I've not had an issue. It's not cheap. 22. What's the? Remember the little bricks of 22s used to be $10?
Yeah, I think they're around 15 now. I know I went to get 9 mil for 50. I think I paid like $16 before this happened. Now I'm lucky if I find them for like 20 plus, dollars.
I got to buy 1,000 rounds of 9 mil for the training in Nashville.
I hope you're buying it down there.
I'm buying it down there. Yeah, I talked to Mickey. I said, Mickey, I'm flying in, man. You gotta hook me up. So that's the plan, is to go through about 1,000 rounds over a 4-day course. And guys, I'm going down there for that, for the S12, I think they call it, the Nashville. And it's about 50 guys are coming in. Good chefs, some famous barbecue guys are coming in. It's a big lodge we're staying at. And we're going to shoot a ton of video and a ton of content when we're down there. So I'm really excited about it. And it's a good opportunity for us to sponsor. It's really a handgun event, and we're coming into the handgun market. So we're going to do a lot more with that. Last piece, we're kind of getting to the end of the trail here. Last thing I want to talk about real quick. This week, it's Friday. In fact, yesterday I was at the NASP, National in the School Archery Program. I was at their Eastern annual competition for archery. Every year they set a Guinness World Record for the largest archery competition. So how many shooters did they have this year at their competition? Take a wild guess.
For a national one?
Yeah. Think a lot.
1,000?
23.
23,000.
Yeah.
How big is the place they had it?
They've got it's the Expo Center in Louisville, and they've got the one's 300. I'm going to say they have 600 shooting lanes.
Oh, wow.
Set up around the perimeter, and it's extremely structured. But all the kids come in, and they all do one flight, and they're coming in. It's just like a machine of working people through this, and they all compete, and they will have a winner out of all those kids. But what's fascinating is what NASP, what they're getting is kids that don't compete in other sports compete in this. Doesn't matter if you're big or small. Yeah. Doesn't matter what size you are. They've got kids shooting who have physical. They've got kids missing an arm, and they actually make it's a teeth release. They all shoot the same bow. They all shoot the Genesis bow. Wow. They all shoot identical arrows. There's no sights. There's no modification. It is a spec series. So they're all, it's all, no sights.
So it's the IROC series of archery.
It is, yeah. But what they're finding is the kids' performance in school is going up. The graduation rate of participants is up. There's 1.3 million kids in this program right now in America. And you want to talk about the future of outdoor sports, the future of the outdoor industry. We got to get to kids. And there's pushback. The other group is the U.S. Clay Target League. That's a school program for shooting clays. Now, there's a senator here in New York City that has made the statement that this is a horrible thing. We're just training tomorrow's mass murderers. It's the stupidest thing in the world. These kids, I tell you what, when you teach kids safety and respect, and you teach them discipline and focus, what do they end up being? Disciplined, focused people who know how to respect things. And the kids at this archery program, they're from all walks of life, all nationalities, all socioeconomic backgrounds. Part of that program, when you're learning archery, you're learning it's almost like a lifestyle. And it's a code that they all learn, and they're the most respectful kids. And I was talking to one of the instructors. He says, there's a girl will show up or a guy will show up, and they're like, they can't even make eye contact. They're really shy. And a month or two into the program, they're like, hey, how's it going? Yeah. And these kids just come alive when they have that level of instruction, when they're taught those things. So I'm encouraging everybody, take a look at that, NASP and then the U.S. Clay Target League. If you've got kids in school, both of those organizations have websites that will help you get those programs in schools. But we're doing a segment on both of them. Those will be good segments. And I think people are going to be amazed at the results at what they're actually able to do.
Yeah, as you were talking about that, I was thinking about my kid when he first started martial arts. They were shy. A lot of them would just come in. They didn't want to talk to the sensei. And, You know, now a lot of them I've seen go up with my son are, you know, leading classes and, you know, doing demonstrations in front of hundreds of people when they have graduation. So yeah, it's really good for the kids.
It is. It's pretty amazing. Steven, I see a question there that it says, do you have panels I can add to my 47 safe that will block the openings in the attachment points? Are those, you know,
it's in the back of the louvers.
The back of the louvers or the round holes?
No, I think he means the back of the louvers. So for any of you guys that don't have our products, our answer safe is they're solid boxes, basically with the louvers welded onto the back. Our Agile and Fast Box, those are one layer of steel, so the louvers are punched into the back. So you basically have vent holes, for a better term, that are in the back. And you know, it's something that we did it like that for lightweight. It also has the added benefit of letting air circulation in, so you don't have to worry about corrosion. So people ask, hey, what kind of dehumidifier? Because I live in this humid area. I'm like, don't bother. I'm like, it's got air vents. Unless everything in that area is rusting or molding, you're fine. So some people do want to block those holes just to keep out dust. I had one person who lived down south and said that she didn't like it because palmetto bugs and spiders get in there. So there's a simple fix for that. It's not something that we have, but I have had customers that I worked with over the years, and they've actually, one came up with the idea where he basically just cut a piece of plexiglass, drilled holes in it that matched up with the mounting holes. On the back of the Fast Box, there is not mounting holes, so you'll have to drill those. But you can basically just attach a piece of plexiglass if you're just trying to seal it up from critters and things like that.
You can also, you do the same thing with plywood.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got one at my house, and just the way I had to mount it was I cut a piece of plywood that's attached to the back. I made it so it lines up with T-nuts on the holes. Then the plywood went into the wall, and the box went to but a sheet of plywood attached to the back, cut the size, does it. We do keep those open. Also, another reason for that is you can store ammunition in those cabinets, and you have to have something that's vented to store. If you're storing a quantity of ammunition, in the event of a fire, you don't want a sealed cabinet. You want something vented. So that's why they are done that way.
Do we want to, before we close, do we want to talk about the new hat or any of that kind of stuff? Or we want to leave that for another time?
No, hang on one second.
I don't even know the official stuff on that.
You have any other products?
We have the other hat.
Where's the other one?
Here, let me run out and see if I can find it.
All right. We're so prepared. So Livia has been working around the clock for 7 years. We've got a whole line of SecureIt swag coming out. Backpacks, hats. I don't think I can do this with my headphones on. Let me see. Probably not the best way to do it, but anyhow, we've got a whole line of products to be on our website very soon, from shirts. I think we're doing some fleeces, a bunch of different stuff. But there's the hat. Let me be the model here for. Let me see that one. This is more of an old man hat. More my style.
Yeah, I had her.
It's subtle.
Chris's office, so you couldn't steal them.
Subtle yet understated. So, yeah, that's the SecureIt guaranteed to impress your friends. Yes.
You know, going back to covering up the holes, I like Madison. He had a good idea, or bug netting and magnets. I'm like, that's a quick and easy way to do it.
Bug netting and magnets. That sounds like an interesting blues group out of the South. Yeah, you can tell I've been on a tear for the last 4 days, and I got in much later. My flights were delayed. You can tell I'm operating on like 6 hours sleep for the last 2 days, and it just happens. Hey guys, any last questions? We'll open up the little left-hand nav here, and any last questions before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah, Ron sent me a note, says we got to show the hats better. I guess with the lighting, they can't really see it that well.
Oh, well, all right.
I don't know which.
Hang on a second. That is this very subtle. And I told him I wanted something very subtle. I don't like really loud, obnoxious in your face. This one's a little more.
Let's see. I'm watching mine. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I like how it's subdued like that.
yeah, this one is quite dark. It's just if you see it, somebody wearing it, you'll notice it. But I don't need somebody to scream secure it. You can just kind of whisper with confidence, we'll say.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's been another exciting week. And I like the subtle hat. Well, they'll be available on the website. I thought like this week, next week. I know we've got the inventory, we've got everything.
Now, I don't know if I missed it while I was out, but is there any other SecureIt branded stuff that's going to be
shirts? We've got tees. We've got, I think there's a fleece, the backpack.
Oh,
Is the backpack a prototype? I have a SecureIt, a camo backpack. I love it. I've been traveling with it.
Well, now we have to sell it because people are going to want it now.
Yeah, it's so I've been doing that, and there's other things that we'll have. The whole world will be branded SecureIt at some point. Yeah, that's coming. So my next thing today is toy time. Chris, our chief marketing officer, and who normally loses his job on these broadcasts and is down and out, hooked me up with his cousin. Who works in an equipment company and worked me a deal. I'm going to pick up a little tracked excavator for the ranch, a little Bobcat. And
that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to own it for a year, get the work done, and probably sell it. And with that equipment, we'll sell it for what we paid for, maybe 2 years.
I like that I told you. I'm like, hey, I've driven tractors, I've driven bulldozers. I can help you out.
Yep.
You send me a picture of it, and I'm like, oh God, I've never driven anything like that.
No, it's. I showed it to my daughter. I said, Haley, look what we're getting. Look what I get. It's excavator. I go, we can dig holes, and she's like, wow, let's go dig holes. It's no, because you know what? There's a safety function. We've got some. Dealing with the woods. I talked about the accident we had out the ranch last year. I had a good friend who helps me out there. We had a big branch come off a tree and it broke his neck. And he was in surgery for 8.5 hours. And doctors were shocked that he walked out of the hospital 4 days later. And he's still in PT, but he's full recovery. And he's my age and damn near was killed. So there is risk out there, especially in old growth forests. We got a lot of there's a lot of wood back there that's the widowmaker kind of thing. Yeah. Having this type of vehicle means I can, if I'm widening or cleaning up a trail, I use the arm. I've got a claw on it, and you can move stuff like rips trees out of the ground and move them out of the way very safely. So
yeah, it wouldn't hurt that if we went through there maybe once or twice a year, just walk it, look for them, and take down any that we find.
It's tough, man, because some of those trees you start cutting them and they split midway up, and it's.
My friends brought property just south of you for camping and doing our Viking shenanigans, and we were out there, checking it out, mapping out what we want to do. One of them started pushing on a tree about 30 feet tall, and I'm like, hey, it's going to snap in half.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it snapped in half, and he went running. He lucked out and just missed him.
Yep. It's crazy things going to happen. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. There will not be a show next week. I will be down in Nashville next week. The following week, I will be on a plane on my way back to New York.
We can do a test run. You can have Chris and I see.
That's absolutely
how bad we can bungle a show with.
Yeah, we'll make it all work. We'll get it all figured out. So, guys, hey, thanks for joining us today. Get outside this weekend. If you got a chance to go out to the range, do some shooting. If you got some agile cabinets sitting somewhere in your home and you don't like where they are, you can move them. Take some time, do a little decentralized storage. Always look at ways to make your world safer and more fun.
And if we missed any of your questions, give us a call. Numbers on the website. There's also, you can email us. Just let us know because, sometimes it's hard to hit all the questions. So definitely hit us up.
Yeah, just Google SecureIt and you'll find us somewhere.
I'll give you the website, but it's really long. So, yeah, you're better off.
One last quick. What are your thoughts on vault doors? If they look like vault doors, I'm not a big fan because you're advertising a little bit. I like just heavy steel doors that look like regular doors.
Yeah.
Because a thief is not going to think, he won't be able to get it open, but he's not going to think, wow, this is a vault, I've got to get in there. He's just going to think this is an exterior grade heavy door.
They got to be tough to get into, though, because, you're going to have concrete walling if you're smart that's holding them up. And so there's not the weakness. So when they're putting all that effort into the door, like some people do with a safe, there's not the weakness of the sides of it. So I've messed with them.
But I've seen people invest in vault doors in rooms that are wood frame with plywood.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it happen, and it's just, you know, what I really like is secrecy, and I look at the some of the book cabinets we have. Those are done by Murphy door. I've got a good friend who's in the firearms industry, and he built a secret room in his home, and he's got it's just a magnet you put in the wall, and poof, a little thing opens up. You'd never know this room was even there. And he's got all his guns and everything stored. He's using Model 84 weapon cabinets. He's got a bench, and we built the room pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's when I have customers that come in here, I will close up the hidden room, and I always try to have them walk past it at least a couple times. You know,
they never know.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, before you leave, and then I'll grab the doors and do the double door, just pull them right up, and they're always amazed that there's this huge room that they're like, oh wow.
Absolutely. So vault door, I would put another door in front of it. I just don't like advertising that, hey, here's where all the valuables are.
Yeah.
I was talking to, who was I talking to? I had a conversation. We're running a little long, but I had a funny conversation with a guy talking about decentralized storage. He started laughing. He goes, so the best thing to do is to get the Agile cabinets, decentralize my storage, and keep the Liberty safe empty with a funny note in it. In his den.
Love it.
So it's when he breaks in, let him spend their 15 minutes getting the safe open. And there's nothing in it.
You know what you could do in that case is hook a string to the door so it has something scary like a big rat, a banshee, whatever. And so when you open the door, it pulls that out. So all of a sudden this thing is jumping out of you from the safe.
I told him Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
just put Girl Scout cookies or like some cake mix or something ridiculous in there. Like it's
grandma's recipe for gumbo.
Yeah, something silly. All right, guys, it's been a fun hour and change. We actually went a little bit over, which is good. Be safe out there. Get out to the range, shoot some guns, decentralize your storage, share your thoughts and ideas with us. We do have the program Social Ladder. Is there a way to sign up for that program?
I don't know about that stuff. Marketing has been running that, so I really don't know much about
it. We're going to be rolling out a platform that allows our customers to basically benefit from sharing SecureIt with their friends. And it's in test mode right now, but it's going to be rolling out very soon. All right, guys, thanks a lot for joining us. We will see you. Somebody will see you next week. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
And if Beth, if you're watching, it's nice out. I'm going to sneak out unless you call me in like 2 seconds and tell me I can't. So that's our customer service supervisor I work for. So let's see if she's paying attention and watching.
All right. Misfit life. All right, Alex. You have a great weekend, man. And we